through the air. The room pulsed with a silent craving as he drew you in with his smoldering gaze. Before uttering the words your body ached to hear.
The next train on track 2 is delayed.
And all the while, you were on your commute home. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover romance titles on Audible.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Volunteering creates positive change. You can help people in your community facing adversity, offering them hope and a path to a better future. You will transform lives, find fulfillment, and discover a sense of purpose. Join the Army behind the Salvation Army, dedicated to meeting human needs without discrimination. Discover how at salvationarmysouthwest.org. Volunteers don't necessarily have the time, they simply have the heart. Sponsored by the Salvation Army Southwest Division.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems, like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
You took the elevator.
Preset. And here's what you need to know.
Las Vegas Raiders backup quarterback Aiden O'Connell broke his right wrist in last night's preseason loss to the Arizona Cardinals and will miss 6 to 8 weeks. Rookie 6th-round draft pick Cam Miller is presently next on the depth chart behind starter Geno Smith. Elsewhere on Saturday night, the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Los Angeles Chargers 30-23. In Major League Baseball on Saturday night, the San Diego Padres defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. 4 Padre pitchers combined on a 2-hitter as they took over first place in the National League West from the Dodgers. Kyle Tucker had 2 home runs and 5 RBI as the Cubs defeated the Angels in Anaheim 12-1. Reese McGuire hit a grand slam, and the New York Mets hit 6 home runs at a 9-2 win at Atlanta, including 2 apiece by Jeff McNeil and Mark Vientos. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electrical needs, call Parker.
Our Sunday forecast is calling for a daytime high around 110 degrees, clear skies, dry weather with an overnight low in the upper 80s at around 89 degrees. For the Fox 10 Weather Experts, I'm Ash Loessa.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Don McDowell Outdoor Radio is sponsored by Elevate Design Group. It's time for Don McDowell Outdoors on Fox Sports 910. A show for the avid fisherman and hunter looking for tips from the pros. Now here's your host, a saltwater fisherman and the man that fears no fish, He's the Bass Daddy and a tournament pro, Don McDowell.
Good morning. Hey, thanks for taking time out of your day to join us in our house while we pester you in your house, your truck, your boat, out mowing. If you're mowing the grass, too bad, buy a boat. Anyway, we've got an all-star lineup today. We've got James Guggenauer in here. He's masquerading as the master rod builder today from downtown Payson. We'll be talking about some department issues and get his take on what's about to happen to us with the various seasons. Matt Shura is here. Now, Matt came in from Apache Junction. He picked up this guy hitchhiking, Steve Jenkins. Oh, my gosh.
Yes, sir.
This guy caught the biggest fish we've
Arizona's history.
He just embarrassed you. Yeah, I mean, your 15-pounder doesn't count anymore.
I know. I agree, and it's an awesome accomplishment, man. It's so good to see those big fish coming out of Roosevelt.
It is. Steve, I want to thank you for coming in. That was an awesome fish, and we hold you up for the treatment of that fish. And, glad to be there. As Matt had his in a fish fry, after weigh-in. So,
you know what's funny? I'll say this: my state record, I caught the 15.86 pounder. That he made mine look small, but the taxidermist, when we had it mounted, he called me and said, "Do you mind if I eat this fish?" Because they just use the skin and use the the mount, with the skin.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, go ahead and eat it. I don't, my fish was eaten. Get big fillets off a almost 16-pound fish, for bass. So
I was just kidding. I didn't mean for you to let that out of the bag. Oh my God. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We're gonna hear Steve's story on that fish, how you did it, what'd you do with it, and all those things. James, you just got back from Duncanby Lodge. How was that in general?
Thanks, Don. It's always fascinating. Duncanby Lodge is in Rivers Inlet. It's about 300 miles north of Vancouver on the central coast of British Columbia. I've been going up there for about 15 years. Every trip, it just seems amazing up there. But I was sharing a story before we got on the show that went out one morning. It was rainy. It was foggy. Water was flat. Ideal fishing conditions for fall season up there in Canada. Our first tack through the area, and we're using hoochie baits and cut plug baits and anchovies up there. Latched on to and right away when it's a Chinook or a king salmon because it just starts screaming the reel. And the rods, because we're fishing off a downrigger, so we're using a 10.5-foot rod with a single action, like a large-scale fly rod or reel, if you will. And that reel just starts saying that fish ran 50 yards and took line off. I was down to the backing on that reel. About 15 minutes later, we got it to the boat. We were trying to measure it in the net, but the fish was curled up in the net, and we couldn't get a good measure on it. So we brought it into the boat and got a fast measure on it, got a fast picture, 44 pounds. And that's my personal record for a Tyee salmon up there. And they have a program in Rivers Inlet where large fish like that, because the reason they're in that inlet, they're going up to spawn and then to end their life cycle. These are the genetics you want to put into the water to create bigger fish in future generations.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we release that fish, and you get recognition for all of that. You get a great baseball cap rather than 44 pounds of fish to bring home. But it still is quite an honor, quite a memory to catch a fish like that. And, we just always have a great time.
Outstanding. How many days were you there?
We were there for 5 days, and we ended up bringing home between halibut and salmon and lingcod and some rockfish. We brought back 130 pounds of fish, so we'll be good for the year. We got 3 freezers at the house for 2 of us, just to keep the fish cold.
I've got his address.
Yeah.
You want to go with me?
I
mean,
love
I feel
salmon.
bad for him. I mean, if you're overburdened.
I love eating salmon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's great stuff.
Best eating.
Yeah. So, Steve, how long have you been fishing tournaments?
I I'd say probably 20, 25 years anyway, but we started with the smaller stuff. Liar's Corner used to do some weeknight tournaments out there. And
Wednesday nighters.
Yeah, we were out there, started fishing
Love those tournaments.
And we didn't know what we were doing. I had an 18-foot champion bass boat, an older one. And
We all started like that. Nobody had a clue.
Yeah, well.
You put the worm, the bobber, throw it.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much. No, I was out there using Zebco 33 rod and reel fishing these tournaments.
Yes!
Had no idea. That's what I learned to fish with. And I mean, I could hit anything with that rod and reel, but you usually didn't get the big fish in the boat. So then I made it a point we had to learn how to use a bait caster and start doing some better stuff and start doing that. And it took a year before I could throw a bait caster very well. And but we started going to the seminars with Matt and Johnny and all these guys out there and started listening to what these guys are saying. And that's really, really what put me on to learning how to fish. I mean, we were throwing, my worm of choice was just a 4-inch camo worm on a Texas rig. That was the only thing we did.
Straight tail or curly?
Curly tail, camo 4-inch. That was
power worm.
Yeah, that's all we did. And we caught a lot of fish. I mean, I've got a 9 and a 10 on that worm at Saguaro, but not on the Zebco. My uncle,
you ain't gonna get it in on a Zebco, buddy.
Hey, it's not the Zebco's fault.
No, they're great. I mean, we use a kind. They started adding some bearings to them, and we were starting to throw those too. But yeah, we really started once we go into the seminars, just figuring out what we were doing wrong. And my uncle, he's 73, and I still take him out there now, and he's still using that Zebco catching. He's got 5-6 pounders on him, but I've seen him lose 7, 8, 9 pounders on it. So
yeah.
But he's not going to learn.
It's not the Zebco's fault.
No. They're great reels. And like I said, I used that since I was 5 until I was probably 30,
I hate to admit this. I have, from the 1950s to when they came out with the 404, I have the whole evolution of the Zebcos.
Mm-hmm. We all do.
Yeah.
I was going to say, too.
Awesome.
Speaking of Johnny Johnson, he fished.
I wasn't.
He fished with his Well, Cody Simpson. You mentioned Johnny Johnson, but or his partner, we called him Push Button Boy, because all he had is those. They were called bullet reels, and it was a push button reel,
Right.
so we called him Push Button Boy. So I'm kind of thinking that might stick a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, He did a TV show with Johnny, and he's got a big caster.
A blue or a green cover on them.
I don't know. I haven't used them since I was 6.
Oh, here we go.
I got my first bait caster when I was a kid, and it first cast just blew it up, and I was so excited to try it. And Abu Garcia reeled. It was a bait caster, and like you say, it takes a while to kind of get to it. And the other thing I'll say, the more you can spend, the better it is. If you buy a cheap reel, it's going to backlash every time. And, and just buy the best you can afford if you're going to use a bait cast reel for sure.
Yeah, I just read an article. There was a new technology out. It's backlash proof.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. Well, Cast King actually has a reel out that's it has a centrifugal brake on it.
Yes.
But, and they show them casting and not even putting their thumb on it, and it doesn't backlash. But I can do that with my reels when I crank the friction down. So,
if you're not backlashing your reel, you're not fishing hard enough. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah. I want that distance, and I back mine all the way off. But, it's the further you can cast, the deeper your crankbaits will go, the further away from the boat to spook the fish. So, yeah.
In fact, for the amateurs, that's a technique. You cast it out there as far as you can. By the time you get the backlash out of your reel, now your bait is falling down to where you want it. You're ready to return.
Forces you to slow down a little bit.
It does. Yeah. And then there's the Mark Townsend style. He throws it out there, puts his rod and reel down, gets his bag of Doritos, eats the Doritos, and then picks it back up.
Sandwich fishing. John Murray used to call it that. You remember?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Summertime, you throw it out and grab a sandwich.
Lake Pleasant. It was a Wednesday night. My first fish over 10 pounds was exactly that. I threw this big black and red reaper out there, a 6-inch.
Yeah.
Laid my rod down, got my PB&J and some Kool-Aid. Ate half the sandwich, picked it up, and was like, yep. Yow!
How many times does that happen when you're actually not fishing, that all of a sudden they decide to bite? It ought to tell you something about your fishing skills, right?
Yeah,
Maybe they're not so good.
I was going to say it's a point in case. But, that was such an awesome day. We had a thunderstorm coming in the static electricity in there. I was fishing with my neighbor, Tommy, And he goes, look at the hair on your arm. I go, what? My hair is standing up. So I took my hat off. My hair's going like, zzz, and you can see the static popping on. I said, we got to go.
Been there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standing there with a 6-foot piece of graphite in your hand.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So real quick on that, U.S. Open, Lake Mead, 5-pound fish is a giant. And I was throwing a topwater back in a pocket, and my partner, it's shared weight in those tournaments. And he cast his drop shot out, but I had a 2.5-pounder, which is a really good fish at Lake Mead. And I told him get the net. He netted it. And when he picked it on his rod, 5-pounder comes flying out of the water. And he's fighting it, and it came off.
Whoa.
I could have been a U.S. Open champion with his fish that he lost. But he was just, he set his rod down. We netted the fish, everything else, picked it back up, and there's a 5-pounder.
Oh, man.
If that doesn't tell you to slow down a little bit.
We did that same
right?
thing at
That's
Mojave
almost as good
last
as
year,
the
same
Johnny
thing.
Johnson Renobass Company.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, hey, come on. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Well, we do have to go here. We need to flip into a break here at Fox Sports 910. I'm here with my good friends.
James Guggenauer.
Steve Jenkins.
Matt Shura.
Yes, sir. We'll be right back. Let's talk about rods, reels, bait. What were you doing? How'd you catch that big fish?
So, going back to these seminars, they started talking about drop shot, and I never even heard of that before. So I went and
just turn it loose.
So I went up there and got home from a seminar and I looked online. I said, "What's the best drop shot rod you can buy?" And everybody's like, "Oh, this one's just as good as a G Loomis." And 4 or 5 times I got out there and, "Oh, this is just as good as a G Loomis." So I went and bought a G Loomis. I figured if everybody was talking about how good it was, I'm going to buy that rod. So I did. I bought a G Loomis, and I had it for about 5-6 years. Well, it broke. I slid it under the rod on the boat and the eye, and I lifted up and it broke it. So I called G Loomis and they said, "Yeah, no problem. Send us $100. We don't make that rod anymore, but send them $100 and we'll send you the newest one." So I did, and that was a G Loomis NRX Plus. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've been using, and it's wonderful. So anyway, so I used that rod to catch this fish. It's a 6'10", and then I had just a 10-pound main line, which was a nanofill, which I don't make anymore. But I bought some spools of that because I liked it and I knew they weren't going to make it. And then at the seminars again, these guys talked about this. What's that fishing line I was using?
The fluorocarbon?
Yeah, the fluorocarbon sniper line. And they were talking about that at the seminars, and I hadn't found anything I liked, so I bought a spool of that and put it on there. But I was running 7-pound line. I normally would use the Gamakatsu hooks, but they were out, the ones I was buying. So I bought just the Eagle Claw, 1/0, extra wide gap, thin wire hook. And then the nose hooks, I'd had trouble losing some of the bigger fish. So I went with this 1/0 or 1, size number 1, but they've been working good for me. And then a 1/4 ounce sinker, and I get those from Tracy from Let's Talk Fishing. They make them at home, and they're very good. They don't twist your line all up, and they make a good weight. So anyway, we were using those, and then the Robo Worm. I've been using the Robo Worm for a while, the Morning Dawn hologram, just a 6-inch straight tail. And for the past few years, I've been using that, and it's just been working well. And again, that was a worm that they talk about in the seminar. Scooter Griffith would come around and the guides, and it's like, man, this worm just works everywhere, and it does. I've used it all the way from Clear Lake to Mojave. It's awesome. Havasu, it works everywhere we go. So I've been using that, and we won some money in some tournaments. It's been a while since we won a tournament, probably a couple of years, but that worm's just been doing very well for us and catches a lot of fish. And so that day it was a tournament. Took off at 5 in the morning. We let off and hit my first spot, and we were only about, I don't know, there was a boat where I wanted to go. So we let them go, and we went to our second spot, and we fished about an hour and a half, and caught some fish, but nothing any size. And we tried another spot, and there was another boat on there, which you get a lot in the tournaments. You don't get to get your spots. So we were heading towards the north end of the lake and kind of cruising, up there to go to my next spot. And I remembered this spot that we'd fished a few years ago that had, I'd lost a big fish on. So I told my partner, I said, let's shoot over there and try it because the water level's down. And we weren't planning on going there, but we just pulled in there, and I dropped the trolling motor down and looked down there on the sonar, and I seen some fish. I'm like, man, there's some fish down there. This might be good. And on the first drop, I caught a fish and threw it in the live well. And for about 10, 15 minutes, we were catching fish pretty good. And I dropped down there again and got another bite, set the hook, and I broke off. And drop shot, I got to retire every now and then, and I just didn't because they were biting so good. But so I broke off. So I retied, new sinker, new hook, new worm, everything, and dropped back down there. And I just felt weight. I didn't feel a bite or anything. It was just weight. So
That's what you want to feel.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, nothing. So I set the hook, and then it was on. That fish just started rip and drag. And my partner in the back, he said a few cuss words and threw his rod down and jumped up there and grabbed the net. And the fish, it just pulled straight. We were facing the sun. It was a little bit breezy, and just the fish went straight, probably 40, 50 feet, and then jumped. And it was right in the sun. We couldn't really see it, but we could see a shadow. We could see it was big. And my buddy's like, "Holy crap, that's a 10-pounder!" So it didn't come off, and then dived back in the water and took off to the right. And I just turned the trolling motor up on 8, and we chased it. And we've learned before to
run it down.
And that's what we did. And we got right on top of the fish, and it was, we were doing the little dance around the boat, around the trolling motor, and it was down there deep still. And I was just trying to hold on, and I wasn't really gaining ground, but the fish was doing what it wanted to do. And so I just kind of fought it, and it started coming up, and I just reeling, and it's coming. Yeah. I said, "Mike, get ready, here it comes." And we got to the point where see my knot, you know, the leader and all that, and I'm like, all right, get ready. And he it jumped. We didn't really pull it up, but it jumped out of the water, and he just scooped right underneath the fish. And
nice.
Yeah, and then we're very happy at that point. We it was a big fish.
Yeah.
So we dropped it in the boat, and he's looking at it. We're looking at it, and just kind of sat there and looked at it for a minute in the net. I'm like, holy crap. So. He's like, dude, you're going to be famous. I'm like, you're an idiot. It's a fish. Who cares, So he's like, let's weigh it. And I'm like, no, this thing's big. We need to get it in the live well. So I only had one live well on and running, So I turned on the other one and got that thing full and stuck him in there and, fizzed a couple times trying to get the air out. Because I caught him. It was in 30 foot of water. And on the edge of a flat. And there's a little creek channel running through it. And a little bit of structure around the edges, so and it was just right there on that edge, and so we threw it in a live well. I fizzed it a few times, and we put the G juice or whatever that stuff is in there to keep the fish alive.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So we threw some ice in there and everything, and just turned the live well. I run lithium batteries, and I just turn the live well pumps on and just let it run all day long. Never let it shut off at anything. I'm like, this fish needs to live.
Oh, yeah.
And I called the tournament director and said, hey, I got this big fish. I'd like to come weigh it in. And he's like, man, we don't do that on this one. We just keep it alive. I'm like, all right.
Who was the tournament director?
Lyle Danhauser.
Lyle.
He needs to be slapped.
No, he actually told me after. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was that big. And I didn't tell him how big it was, and we didn't know how big it was.
You need to get a clue.
No, he's a good guy.
You can meet me out in the parking lot, Lyle. Come on.
No, he's a good guy. He really is. And they take very good care of the fish. They always do the bump tanks. They
He pay you to say that?
No.
They do a great job.
They're good people.
Lyle's solid, man.
Yeah, they're
He's
good people.
solid. He knows
You
what
want to
he's
see
doing.
my phone log?
No,
Yeah.
he apologized. He actually said, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And you know what? It's my fault too, because we didn't weigh the fish. I was just concentrating on getting the fish back in the live well, keeping it healthy, and we wanted to keep fishing. I mean, we had one good fish and four not so good fish, so we just wanted to keep fishing. So my partner wanted to weigh it, and I'm like, no, because I really honestly thought that was 12, maybe 13 pounds. We had no idea because I've never seen a fish that big, and. So we just threw it in the live well, and I fizzed it a couple times, and just took care of it. And after about another hour, I wanted to go get some more ice, so we actually stopped and ran over to the marina and got some more ice. And they were closed, but there's somebody on the dock had some ice, so we grabbed some ice from them and just trying to do everything to keep the fish alive.
Outstanding.
Great job.
So
yeah.
We didn't catch the fish. He caught himself, but we just happened to be where he was when he jumped. So, but actually, in that spot, I'm thinking 5 or 6 years ago, we were fishing exactly that same spot in a little winter tournament, and we were throwing a spoon, and we hooked down there and hooked this fish, and same thing. It did the exact same thing. Took off around 40, 50 feet ahead and jumped, but that time it came off, and I know that fish was at least 10 pounds too, and it came off and would spit the spoon out, jumped and spit the spoon out, and I was heartbroken. I've thought about that forever. But that fish is why we chase these fish down. Ever since that day, I told my partner, I said, dude, from now on, if it's running, we're chasing. And it's caught me so many fish, because I fish drop shot a lot. And it's hard to get them big ones into the boat if you don't do that.
Yes, it is.
So,
yeah.
And the weight again?
16 pounds, 16.57 pounds.
Biggest fish ever caught in Arizona's history right there. So that's the story. That is way cool. Yeah. And then I'm just more impressed because I would have taken that fish to the grocery store and get it certified. You let it go, correct?
I did, and it's all about, like we're talking about, the genetics and all that. And it's I mean, I've never caught anything that big. Why not let it go and let the fish, have more big fish?
Nobody in Arizona's caught one that big.
Yeah,
just so you know.
No, I know. But you know what?
There's guys that maybe claim they did, but
it's on the video. I mean, it's the pictures are there, the scales there.
Incredible
I mean, you can't
fish.
deny it.
You know how many guys are on their Onyx right now looking like, okay, north side of the lake, big bed coming in, 30 feet of water.
Well, good luck getting a hologram morning dawn worm around here too.
They're tough.
Yeah, they're sold out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, I even saw a post from the last weekend at Saguaro, and the people were talking. A girl got on there. Yeah, we did really good at Saguaro, and I caught him on the morning dawn worm. And I'm that's what I wanted. We went to a seminar years ago, and Matt and Johnny were there, and they actually won the tournament like the night before, and they called us out because we took second, and they said, how'd you guys do? We had 20 pounds something, they had 21, and Matt asked me, he's like, well, how'd you guys fish and all that? And I didn't want to tell him because we were fishing tournaments, and You know, that was a seminar people were trying to learn, and I felt bad after that. I literally felt bad forever that I didn't tell people how we were catching fish, and it affected me. So I thought, you know what, this time I'm not going to tell people lies. I'm going to tell them how I caught it, and every single thing about this story is true. The worm, the line, the weight, everything. So
well, I need
congratulations to you, because that that was one of the nuances of our old friend, good friend John Murray. Murray would tell you everything at the time, and here's the deal. He can't go catch your fish.
Right.
In fact, he's lucky to catch any fish at all.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
Right.
He's great about sharing information, and the game's over. Tomorrow's a new day.
Right.
Is that going to work tomorrow? Probably not.
Well, I'm going to try.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you could.
Yeah, no, but for sure.
You got to go catch your own fish.
Right.
Yeah.
It's different everywhere on the lake. Every spot on the lake's different,
It's definitely hard to catch other people's fish too.
Yeah.
You hear about somebody catching them on jigs, and you gotta find them yourself and throw the baits you have confidence
Dean
in.
Cruiser, where I finally broke myself of doing this. We were on Pleasant. He was catching a boatload of fish on red or watermelon with red fleck.
Mm-hmm.
I went up. I came back to town and I bought Phoenix Fishing Supply. I got him. I got him. I still got him. I never caught a fish.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm the same way. Fishing Roosevelt, I look for Matt Shore's boat because you can see the wrap from clear across the lake, right?
Yeah.
The difference is Matt would go back to work, and the next day I'd go over there on Bass Point and I'd try to catch fish, and I'm like, what was he doing? Because I can't get one here.
Yeah, it's a big mind game.
Timing. It's all about timing on that thing.
We got to flip into a hard break here with James, Steve, and Matt. Appreciate you guys coming down. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about the saltwater issue going in off the left coast, and then more with James on Dunkerby Lodge. I'm Don McDowell, Fox Sports 910. We'll be right back.
Really? Thanks for calling Grand Avenue.
Zebco now has an 888. Wow. Yeah, I mean, these guys, they have the platinum, they have a gold, still on the 33. I mean, it's like, wow.
I think every one of us started with a push-button reel, but the reality of it is the drag systems in those reels just aren't very good.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah.
I still have the old, remember the big old Johnson, the green one, about this big? Yeah, I got that. And then I have two Ronco Pocket Fishermen.
Never heard of it.
You're just a baby.
Yeah.
Really?
You remember?
You got to be over 70.
Yeah,
but
I don't feel like a baby.
Rocket pockets.
You can do whatever you want to, but if you have a Ronco Pocket Fisherman, you can flip under a dock anytime, anywhere, as far as you want to. Instead of using never mind. I still drink Kool-Aid. But anyway, all right. So, how many fish were you allowed to catch up there at the Dunkerby Lodge?
So for salmon, which is the main reason people go up there, and this time of year in the fall, the Chinook are winding down. Their spawning season's a little bit ahead of the silvers or the cohos, and so it's an 8-fish limit. And of those 8, no more than 4 can be a Chinook. The rest have to be cohos. And so we had no trouble limiting out. Literally, I mean, you put your downrigger down anywhere 30 to 40 feet down, and you could just reel them up as fast as you wanted to. You could be choosy. The good thing is up there you have to use a barbless hook. So when you get them up to the boat, you can just lean over, grab that hook, and turn it, and the fish is gone pretty easily. So, but just absolutely fun fishing. We probably could have caught 4 limits if we wanted to.
Let me ask you this: those guys treat you guys pretty well. You know, I've not been there, but I've been all over their website and trust but verify and fact check your stories. And I mean, these guys are awesome lodge up there. What boats are they running?
They run their guide boats are Grady Whites, and a lot of people fish with guides up there. But it's an all-inclusive type lodge. So when you get to you land on a float plane, you fly out of Sea Air out of Vancouver, hour and a half flight up to Rivers Inlet. You land on the water. They cruise over to the dock.
Nice.
And there's a boat sitting there that's about a, I don't know, 22-footer maybe.
Yep.
That's got your name on it. That's your boat for the week. And 2 downriggers, sonar, radio, fully rigged, ready to go. Yeah. All the baits and everything is there. So you can take your own boat out and follow the guides around, basically, and do the same things.
So you get to operate your own boat?
Yeah. And you can fish it from morning till night. The nice thing about the guides, because this is a big inlet, Rivers Inlet, if anybody looks it up there. So it's nice going out with the guides when they've got the 30-plus foot boats. It's a nice ride across there, not nearly as bumpy. I don't have to listen to the wife tell me how bumpy it is driving out there. So it's fun to go out with those. It just makes it a lot easier to get fish into the boat and get to the next spot.
Nice.
But it's
now, are you on the first name with all the bears up there?
Absolutely. And they're grizzlies up there.
Yes, sir.
We think we got trouble with black bears down here.
No, we have no trouble.
This time of year, those bears know that the spawn is coming and those fish are going to end their life cycle up there at the head of this river. They are literally, it looks like a parade walking up the shore, and they're all headed upstream. They're all going up to the head because they know that all those fish are going to be just laying on the beach in another month.
Wow.
That.
Yeah, Troy, the grizzlies are interesting because they stand up and they wave at you.
They do, literally.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's one of the cautions that when we get to the lake, the first thing the lodge owner up there tells you is, if you see that grizzly bear, that is not a photo opportunity. You don't go get a selfie with a grizzly bear in the background.
You have those at Yellowstone with a buffalo.
Exactly. So, there's just great wildlife there. I mean, whales,
eagles,
orcas, eagles. I mean, just everything up there is just beautiful.
That's crazy. Yeah. I didn't know they let you run your own boat. That's cool. A whole new dynamic.
Yeah, just basically renting a boat then at that point. So, it's kind of cool, especially if it's equipped like you say. It's Awesome deal.
Yeah, when they put the down, and they're electric downriggers. They're not the hand crank downriggers.
Oh, geez, what happened to old school, man?
We're spoiled nowadays, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good place to go. We've been going up there probably a dozen years, and it's just always a good trip. This year, for the first time, when we got to Vancouver, you have to go through customs, and typically you wait an hour to get through there. There's just a lot of airplanes coming into Vancouver Airport. I don't know why this time there was nobody there. We literally walked into customs. This woman asked for my passport. She asked me what we were going to be doing in Canada. I said fishing. She said, have a great time.
Really?
That was the extent of the customs check. So
any Border Patrol?
No, didn't see Border Patrol up there. Didn't see a whole lot. Even the Department of Fishing and Oceans, DFO up there, didn't see a single agent this year.
Really?
So all good. We had a great time up there.
What do you recommend for people going to Dunkerbee? What kind of personal gear do you take? Because that varies from venue to venue to venue, because you're not going to take the same stuff that you take to the West Coast.
Right. So the nice thing is everything is supplied up there. They bring the flashers, they bring the cannonballs, they bring all the baits. It's all stocked in your boat. There's a tackle box in that boat. They're all basic things. You know, they're hoochies, they're rigs.
Okay, wait, Matt, we got flashers and hoochies.
I was giggling. I was giggling before when you mentioned that.
I'm gonna let that go.
I got to see that bait, by the way. I just got to see it.
Yeah, it's like that new male cheerleader for the Vikings. What the hell are they thinking?
But yeah, so they have it all there. But we do take the baits I have in there are pretty basic baits. So I've got my favorite colors, favorite areas that I like to fish. So I usually take some of my own baits up there. But basically, because we're flying in those float planes, this is not like a vacation trip, right? You get like a 25-pound duffel bag.
That's it.
And, because all the people and their gear in the plane, you're limited to that. So, but at the lodge, they have the rain gear, they have boots, they have everything heavy that you're going to need. They supply up there. So
including flashers and hoochies.
Flashers, hoochies, downriggers. They got the whole 9 yards.
Where's Tom Holman when you need him?
Hey, Jim, can you drop shot one of those hoochies?
I imagine you could, because they don't look a lot different than a spinnerbait. They're just rigged kind of backwards to what a spinnerbait runs. But and for I don't know why this is, but for bass, a white spinnerbait is what works, and for salmon fishing, a white hoochie is what works. It's amazing how similar those things run.
There goes Apache Junction. Wow. All right. Good story, James.
Sorry.
Hey, we got to flip into another break. When we come back, I'm going to hit the stats on the offshore pelagic count. Let's see what's going on over there. I'm Don McDowell. This is Fox Sports 910. We'll be right back.
If you're new in the Valley and want to
Columbia. H&M Landing for yesterday. I'm not going to really get into what's going on today. They've got 122 bluefin for 2 boats. Ocean Odyssey's out on a day and a half of 20 guys. Top Gun 80, outstanding vessel. 2.5 day with 21 guys. They got 82. H&M totals for yesterday. They had 6 boats out, 7 trips, 233 anglers. I'm going to spare you all the bottom fish, but they absolutely loaded the boat with reef fish. They only had 3 bluefin and, unfortunately, only 2 yellowtail. So the total dock count, 11 boats, 14 trips, 407 anglers. Same thing. They ended up a conglomerate of 49 bluefin. Yellowtail are non-existent, man. I mean, they just like vanished again. So anyway, we're still looking for the yellowfin. There was just pods and pods and pods of them down at Mag Bay, and we had some offshore disturbances, and we were hoping the currents would swing north, bring them in close, so the sport boats could get at them. That's not the case. I will be talking to Captain Bill today, see where the horizon is. They're on a multi-day. Yesterday, the Malahini boat that we're always talking about, the good ship Malahini, had a full day, 24 anglers, and a lot of room on that boat. They'll accommodate twice as many as that, up to 50, 51. They had 86 whitefish, 70 rockfish, 60 red rockfish, which are outstanding on the grill, 12 calicos, 4 barracudas, which are a hoot, and that you need the toothy critter wire. Trust me. And don't try to thumb them. And only 1 yellowtail. So I don't know what's going on. But as you and I have been talking, we're still not really having monsoons. If we have yellowfin, we have monsoons. If we don't have, it's like, what is going on?
We've had years like this before. I remember having the same conversation with you a couple of years ago where it seems like the yellowtail, for whatever reason, they just never come shallow. And don't know.
Well, they're following currents, and if you look at the upper jet stream and the ocean currents, they coincide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fishing's been down over there. I talked to a guy that went over there on a 3-day trip, and they landed like 9 fish for the entire boat.
Well, these guys are, once again, that's fishing.
Yeah.
It's like Steve. You got to be in the right place at the right time, throw on the right Zebco, and your Snoopy go get him rod. Congratulations on that rod. This guy builds a hell of a rod.
Yes, he does. Yeah. I can vouch for that 100%.
Absolutely. I've got one. I still have that. It's in a wall of fame. That bass rod, 45-pound bluefin. Are you
I
kidding
remember
me?
that.
Who does that? So anyway, we were down at Dendora Valley doing some stuff for our good friend Tyson Store, and Reed and I were talking about we always get a big storm right, 2 days before dove season, and the white wing evaporate. Yep. Is that going to happen again? Why do you plan it like that?
I hope not. But what a great event! What a great way to introduce youth to hunting. Over in Yuma, over in Tyson's area, we talk a lot about the dove seasons over there and the openings. There's another one that's in Buckeye, Outdoor Surprise now, that's kind of getting started. But great opportunities. I encourage everyone, if you want to get youth introduced to hunting, take them to one of these wing shoots. These guys do a fabulous job setting up those events. They care for the birds. They teach them gun safety. They put them on birds so they can be successful. It's just a great day that's out there. I encourage everyone to take advantage of that.
Okay, so we're kicking in September 1st. We've had a good dove crop this year, good quail crop. It's just going to be interesting to see, what kind of weather we get because I'm real serious. You go out and you scout and you find a spot. lots of white wings. You go out, get a rainstorm, and you can't buy a white wing.
Yeah, and I mean we have issue with that. Mearns is another one that's susceptible, but all about spring rain. You know, last year was kind of average. It wasn't really dry, but it wasn't really wet either. But we had a pretty good crop, and same for dove and quail.
Yeah.
Matt can tell you that, you know, fishermen are always the best predictor of how hunting's going to be because they hear those quail down by the water, Roosevelt Lake, in the springtime before hunting season ever starts. Or they can predict how good it's going to be.
Yeah, and you never hear any random gunfire. Never. Yeah, you know, the other thing on that, you know, the moisture lack of what little bit we did have, I have not seen, other than in the highway, any rattlesnakes this year.
Good point. I
haven't either.
Usually, well, we're going to be talking to Chris Rich. You know, he was out fiddling around night fishing with a fly rod. I mean, what's wrong with that picture? But anyway, you know, he's got rattlesnakes swimming in the water, and
sure,
we're talking to guys who got snakes over in Roosevelt trying to get in their bass boat. And,
yep.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other big impact on is bears here in Arizona. Now, we just have black bears in Arizona, but because of the lack of moisture in the higher elevations, there's not the acorns that are blooming up there. The manzanita berries were like really late this year. So everyone's trying to figure out why all these bears are coming into different towns or to lower elevations. The Game and Fish Department has reported over 700 bear conflicts this year. That's a record by over 100, and we're not even through the year yet.
No, you're not.
And it's all related to the drought and the amount of feed that's out there. There's just no food up top for those bears to feed on. That's why they're coming down to these lower elevations. So everything we're talking about, fish, you know, wildlife and all that, rain is a huge influence on all those.
Yeah, it is. You know, and we're doing RCNI, we're doing a predator survey with the cattle ranchers, and the bears are part of that because, you know, the mountain lion goes out there and he likes to have a deer a week, and if the bear gets wind of that, he comes and takes that deer away from the mountain lion, which that pushes the mountain lion to go over and kill another one.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, the whole thing just snowballs. And then if they can't catch a deer, they're going to come start chewing on calves and heifers. And it just, what a mess.
It is. We were just talking to a wildlife manager. Check this out. How about a collared bear killed a collared mountain lion on a depredation?
Good for him. You know, I'd say offhand, mount the bear.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, that's crazy. All right, we're going to get this first hour shut down. When we come back, I'm going to visit back with Steve again. You know, kudos to you. Thank you so much for taking such good care of that fish. That is just, I think, exemplary behavior. And Matt and I've talked about it. We've got a great bunch of bass anglers here in the state. You know, and in years past, they didn't care. But as we've evolved, with the help of the department, you know, we still need to beef up some rules and regs on fish care that we're working on going into the third decade. It takes a while to get it done. But, you know, thank you so much. Matt over here is doing a great job. He's known as our bass ambassador. In the work that Johnny Johnson and all the other guys do for the seminars for the public and especially for the kids. You know, I mean, it's you know, hopefully you set an example on what to do or what not to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame somebody if they wanted to keep it, but it's just not the choice I made. You know.
No, of course,
so,
of course.
I mean, somebody wanted to mount it or get the state record officially.
Well, you know that's another thing. Things change.
Yeah.
You know, in years past, you couldn't go to Bass Pro Shop or your local taxidermist and get a replica.
Right.
He wanted the skin.
Right.
You know, I've got a ton of fish mounted. I only have one skin mount. So anyway, we'll learn more about that from these guys. I want to appreciate you coming down. Appreciate you listening. I'm Don McDowell. This is Fox Sports 910. Yeah, and we'll be back.
Don McDowell.
Thanks for joining us. If you stayed with us, you know what's going on. We've got Mr. Steve Jenkins. You have to call him Mr.
Big Fish Steve.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, Steve was doing a little drop shot. I mean, rumor has it that's what he was doing.
Sissy.
Yeah.
So, real quick.
Yeah, really, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the guys that just joined us, tell us about that 16, how many pounds?
16.57, correct?
Correct, yeah, 16.57 pounds. I think it comes out to like 16 pounds, 9 ounces approximately.
Close enough.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay, so real quick, this obviously was a fish of a lifetime as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
So we were in a tournament, fished a couple spots. They didn't pan out, so we're heading to another spot. Remembered this spot that fished years before, and the water levels dropped quite a bit at Roosevelt, so I decided to head over there and pull up on the spot. It was about 30 foot of water on a flat, edge of a flat, some structure down there. Caught some fish there before, so I dropped down there, first cast, caught a fish, caught some fish, for about 15, 20 minutes, and then dropped down there again, and I just broke off. I hooked a fish and broke off, so I retied and everything, had a new hook, new line, just using 7-pound line, and dropped down there again and just felt weight, didn't feel a bite or anything, so I just set the hook, and that fish just took off about 40, 50 feet, went up, jumped. Yeah, it was just zip and drag, just pulling. I had no way to stop this fish. It just took off. So, using my G. Loomis rod, NRX Plus, it's made for that. So it's an expensive rod, but it works well.
Boy, that's about a shameless plug right there.
I'm just saying, it's a good
sponsored?
rod. Not yet, but
you're sitting next to the premier rod builder right here.
Yeah,
right here.
I'll have to talk to him after. But anyway, it's a good rod. I like it. I've got some. And anyway, so we're fighting this fish, and it jumped. We about crapped our pants because it was a lot bigger than I've ever caught before. And we thought it was a 10-pounder, and we saw it jump. It was right in the sun. We didn't see it very good, so it took off to the right. And I just turned on the trolling motor on 8, and we took off and got over the top of this fish after it quit running. And we did a little dance around the boat. It's running around, and we're trying to not get hooked up in the trolling motor or the engine. And after, I don't know, like a minute or so, it wasn't too long, but it just started coming up. I wasn't bringing it up. It was coming up to jump. So I just told my partner, I said, get ready, here it comes. And we reeled, and got to my line, my leader and my knot, and I said, all right, almost there. And that thing just come up and jumped out of the water, and he just scooped under the net. Mike Selvage was my net guy and he did a wonderful job, got it right under the fish. And
so he's got a new nickname too, Scoop.
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Whatever works, but we dropped the fish.
Let me ask you this. From a tournament standpoint, did that fish experience, when you say you caught him about 30 feet of water?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he exhibit signs of needing to be fizzed? Or
yeah, I did that. First thing we just filled up his, he got his own live well. He was a big one, so I put him in his own live well. Just turn the live well on.
Size matters.
It definitely does.
Remember that.
100%.
I haven't used 2 live wells in a boat in a long time, and so I turned on his own live well, and he barely fit in that live well. I mean, it was tight. It was hard getting him in and out of there, but or she, I should say. But yeah, she just went in there. We put some ice in there, put some G juice in there, and just turned the live well pumps on, let it run all day. And, but we did. I pulled her, just kind of pulled her face out a little bit and fizzed her 2 or 3, 4 times. But I didn't want to keep doing that. I'd look in there and her fins are moving, and she just seemed happy. We put some ice in there, went and got some more ice, put it in there, and just wanted to keep her alive. That was my goal. And we lose weight in the tournament if the fish dies. But at the same time, that wasn't I was just more wanting to keep the fish alive to let her go.
Was she burping up any
nothing?
Any content?
Nothing. Yeah, a lot of times after the tournament, your live well is full of crawdads and shad and just whatever, but zero. Nothing.
Oh, that was the biggest. Matt will appreciate this. The biggest argument I ever had with the tournament director was our good friend Randy McElrath. And I take my we had a good bag of fish, but I also had a half a dozen crawdads in the bag. And so I had my partner was holding, Barry Lewis, holding the bag, and I'm holding my fish, and I'm putting the crawdads back in the fish. And Randy comes over, he's the size of the drink. He goes, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, these guys spit this up in my live well. It belongs to the fish. So you can't do that. I go, oh, well, yeah, I can.
You know, that's a good question. You caught that fish with those crawdads in the belly.
Yeah.
So is it really, you know, if you, I lost a $50,000 boat by 3/100ths of a pound in a tournament.
That's a crawdad.
It's a crawdad pincher.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Right.
And so I don't think that's probably right.
Well,
maybe, I don't know. You'd have to ask the tournament director.
I didn't win that argument. Randy's 6'6", weighs
Oh, yeah, he's a big
about
guy.
260. I gave up. I said, well, we're not going down this road.
He's a guy you shake his hand and you feel like a little kid.
Yeah, you feel like you just picked up a rock.
Like, that hurt. I want to shake his hand again.
So, James, what is the condition of the Mother Lake?
Yeah,
Have you had a chance to look?
Yeah, you know, as Steve's saying, the water level continues to drop up there. I think we're about 50%, 53%, right around there. That 50% mark that we always try to stay above. If we could just get some monsoon rain, maybe we can do that. But as these guys are telling you, fishing conditions at our lakes, especially the Salt River Chain lakes, is the best I've seen it in years. I mean, the fish are healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because the water is more stable, because we don't have those big inflows and things like that. The gizzard shad are under control. For us that have been around for a few years, Don, you remember this. I know Matt does.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was only like 15 years ago that Roosevelt Lake was almost dead.
Sure.
You know, you could win a tournament with 12 pounds of fish
Exactly.
at Roosevelt Lake.
I remember a night tournament. It didn't even take 8 pounds to win a tournament.
Right. And so you think, and we all know these stories, right? The Arizona Game of Fish got involved. They put structure in that lake. There's over 1,000 man-made structures that are in Roosevelt Lake now.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not up in the shallow areas where there's brush because they don't need it when the lake is high. But when the lake is low, those fish need those artificial structure down there. And because Roosevelt Lake and the bottom is mostly river rock and sand.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
what's in there.
Yeah.
So these artificial structures help. But more importantly, as it turns out over the last decade, is the Florida strain bass that were put in there. Traditional northern bass don't grow to the size of the 16-pounders that get caught there. Those are Florida strain bass.
Nor do they have the attitude.
Nor do they have the appetite.
Yeah.
And that's why the Florida strain bass controlling those gizzard shad, it just seemed to turn that whole lake around to where now it is absolutely healthy. And as we all know, once you get something in Roosevelt Lake, it ends up in Saguaro or even the Salt River at some point. So all those lakes right now are just the best fishing that people have seen down there.
You remember Larry Riley. Larry was fish chief for a long time, and we had a love-hate relationship, and we had the biggest damn argument in a loving way about the gizzard shad. I said, hey, Larry, you got to do something about the gizzard shad. He goes, what do you want me to do? So I want you to get rid of them. So, that was a impossible task. But Larry said something that at the time just really PO'd me. He says, well, we just got to wait and see.
Yeah.
I said, wait and see what? So I went down to Mexico with Mike Day, and we figured out, because Lake Weeches, they gill net.
Yeah.
So we put together a commercial gill netting plan, and, of course, it got poo-pooed. He poo-pooed on it. Tonto Basin poo-pooed on it. Everybody, did you? No, you didn't. Okay. But, that would have done it. But, I never thought I'd hear myself saying this. Larry was right. Mm-hmm. After a while, they worked their way into the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And henceforth, we have a forage base for the largemouth that, the other thing is Arizona. There's something about Arizona waters in our region that grow exceptionally large gizzard shad.
Yes.
Gizzard shad are all over the planet. But
long growing season.
Yeah,
same reason bass in the South get
you
larger.
go back in Texas, they got these little bitty gizzard shads, pound and a half. We got them that's like Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, and the difference is, if you take lakes like Texas, where they have lots of structure, lots of cover down there, so they kind of stay in check. If you take a lake like an impound like Roosevelt Lake, they have to search, and what they were searching for is the eggs from bass and crappie, and they were devastating those. That's what was causing the impact.
Yeah.
And what was hard about this one is it didn't happen overnight. It took 5 years before we got to the level that people finally realized something was going on. And the way that was all confirmed on is we went back to tournament directors, bless their hearts, they keep records of what their winning weights were for, years past. We were able to go show to the Game and Fish Department that, the best fishermen in our state have lower numbers of fish. And so when you average all that out, there is something going on in this lake.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what drew the attention to the Game and Fish Department. They had to go take some action.
Well, at the end of the day, we've got a premier Blue Ribbon Lake producing monster fish.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, Steve, you're going to identify with this. He's talking about losing 10-pounders. Going back to Shattenberg, everything he lost was an 8-pounder.
8.64.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Sam Shattenberg.
My kudos to Steve
around that.
Yeah, we raised the bar. That we had Kentucky Fried Chicken drumstick bones in the boat.
Well, hey, Jim, I want to mention, too, I was just at Apache on Wednesday, and we caught them good. We had over 30 fish, and remember the old Westy worm?
Oh, yeah.
My good buddy Brian McAllister I took out, and he pulls that Westy worm out, and it's like, man, I haven't thrown a Westy worm in years.
God, I still got 4 pounds of them.
I do, too.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of keeping them. But, yeah, Apache, the fish are those Florida strain just seem to fight different, man. We're catching pound and a quarter fish, and it's strip and drag, and it's just a blast to catch, and we just had a great time. We were just drop shotting, throwing jigs and Westy worms, and caught them. We went down towards the dam and just caught them really good.
Yeah, those big fish historically, the black bass, particularly not the Florida strain. He mentioned, I just felt some weight.
Yeah,
and a lot of those big northerns. The black ones, they don't fight, they resist, but they don't fight like a Florida strain.
I caught one almost 16 pounds. I set the hook and it never jumped. It didn't dig. I just, it was heavy. Reeling in a log.
Yeah.
And I knew it was a good fish. And just like you're saying, I got a skeeter boat and I put this 16 pounder in a live well and it wouldn't even fit. Like the fins, I broke the fins on its back because it was so narrow to get that fish in there. It was so big, it was 24 inches around. It's a giant bass, so a lot of fun. There's a state record coming out of Roosevelt real soon. We already had it, but
another one.
Well, I just hope they put a scale up there so you don't have to kill it to get the record.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can talk about that some, but do you still have a minute, or we got to go?
We got 1 minute.
Okay. So I wanted to address this Florida strain thing, because one of the things the biologists at the Game and Fish Department are thinking about right now is there's a lot of northern strain bass that were in Roosevelt and all the Salt River chain lakes before the Florida strain were put in there. Those fish are going to spawn together. Eventually, all those lakes are going to be F1 hybrid fish, a cross between a Florida strain and a northern. But while we have this opportunity right now with a large number of northerns and an equal number of Florida strain, now's the time to start doing genetics and to get those eggs, and to get the right ones, to keep those genetics separated and keep some good, pure Florida strain bass in there, as well as northern bass. And then we're always going to have a bunch of the F1 hybrid type fish in there. But we need to do that now, because eventually the whole Salt River chain will be filled with those fish. It's going to be exciting times coming up in the future.
Do you think they're not already?
Oh, they are, but there's still Florida strain, purebred Florida strain in there, and I'm thinking that's the fish that Steve caught, and those are the ones we need to capture those genetics on to make sure we maintain that. Warm water hatcheries for the Arizona Game and Fish Department. Have you ever heard me say that?
Yeah.
That's where we got to go.
Hey, Jim.
All right. Let's do it. Sounds like we need another bake sale.
Yeah. Well,
all right, we got to get this thing wrapped down. When we come back, Chris Rich from the AZ Fly Shop, where the adventure begins. I'm Don McDowell. This is Fox Sports 910.
From the mountains of Montana to the shores.
Where the adventure begins is Chris Rich. The only problem is, this guy's like a bad rash. We never know where he is. What are you doing, my friend?
Hey, Don McDowell. I'm heading out to go chase some canal carp is what I'm doing, buddy.
Yeah, okay.
It's a beautiful Sunday morning here in Arizona. It's going to be a fantastic day because I'm going to be out there chasing some fish. And hopefully I get a few of them caught.
Well, of course.
Which is likely. It's very likely, but I'm not making any promises. These fish are challenging. They're fun. Anyhow, we're going to have carp rally's coming up at the end of September 27th and 28th. It's our 5th annual carp rally. Last year we raised over $16,000 for local charities.
Wow.
We hope to do better than that this year. The money this year is going to be going to Wildlife for Tomorrow and their conservation efforts. By the way, speaking of Wildlife for Tomorrow, had a wonderful time at the celebration dinner last night when they inducted a handful of people into the Outdoor Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I
Art
think they
Chamberlain
had
was
9.
inducted.
Yeah.
Say again?
I think there was 9 inductees. Was there not?
Seven individuals and 2 organizations. 9, yes.
Okay, 7 plus 2 is 9, unless you have a Zebco.
Yeah. You know, seeing Art Chamberlain and his grandson went up there and talked. That was really moving for me. Art Chamberlain, you know, he was one of my heroes growing up. He still is one of my heroes. But he was the idol growing up. Him, Bob Hirsch, you know. It brought me back to kind of thinking about some of those memories, being a little kid, 8, 9 years old, and hey, Dad, it's Saturday morning. The Outdoor Almanac came out on Thursday. When are we going to go down there and pick it up? I couldn't wait for those to come out.
Boy. Same here.
And, it was. That's about the only reading I got during those years of my life. Is if it was related to fishing, I'm happy to read it. If it's not, give it to somebody else to read.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. How many signups do you have for your carp rally at this point, or is it too early to tell what your turnout's going to be?
We've got probably about 30 people registered right now. We'll take up to 50. I know there's a lot of teams out there that are planning to register, so I have no doubt that we're going to fill it up. We cap it out at 25 total teams, and then that goes on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. They kick off from the shop and go out on their 24-hour carp fishing journey, and then the 28th, which is a Sunday, we'll have the fly fishing film tour at Moon Valley Country Club. It's a big event. You can come by. The doors open at 4 o'clock. You can have dinner there at the country club before the movie, get a couple of drinks. The silent auction will be going on. Raffle baskets will be going on. I know Game and Fish will have some people there. We might have the White Mountain Apache tribe. The fly fishing clubs will be there. It's a fun social event for the fly fishing community to come together. So we're real excited about that, and we're real excited to be able to, benefit Wildlife for Tomorrow with that event.
Outstanding. Yeah, we appreciate what you do for the community. Last time we talked to you, James and I were talking about rattlesnakes. We got on that for some reason. Where were you, and was that snake actually in the water?
Oh, yeah. Well, we were out there at Horseshoe, and I think it was about 2 weeks ago. It was whenever the last full moon was. We went out there on the Saturday night, the full moon, and we put in the water right before dark. We fished into the moonlight till about 11 up there. On the Verde River above Horseshoe is where we were at. There's a spot we've been going into there. It was a fantastic evening. I mean, it was just the moon was light. It was so light outside. And I happened to be changing one of my bait fish flies. So I had my headlight turned on. And for some reason, I looked over my left shoulder. And I mean, within 2 to 3 feet, there's a rattlesnake in the water coming right at my boat.
Oops.
I shine the light right on him. He turns right around and swims off. I'm thinking, hey, this is just the way it goes for me, right?
Too close for me.
He was right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I heard there's a new technique out there. There's some guys that have a new technique to calm these rattlesnakes down. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, it's called a flat snow shovel.
Well, these guys are saying, I think they might be guys that are on the left-hand side of the aisle. I'm not sure. But they're saying now, some of these guys, that if a rattlesnake is rattling, and they got their head up and they're kind of mad at you, they said if you can get a hold of that rattle and stop it from making that noise, that rattlesnake will calm right down and go to sleep. I don't know. I don't know about that.
You sent me that text, and I disagree with it because I tried that particular method on my ex-wife. I got bit anyway.
So your vote is it doesn't work, huh?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes back to rule number one. No eyebrows, no shoulders. Leave it alone.
There you go. There you go. Hey, I'm real excited about the moisture we've got coming into the state this week. It looks like we should finally start getting a fair amount of moisture, and that should be real exciting for these fish that we like to chase around Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the information coming out of the White Mountains?
You know, the lakes are low. The creeks are definitely low. They have come up because they're getting rains up there on a pretty routine basis. So a lot of the creeks are off color, which means the water's coming into them. The lakes are definitely low, and we've lost a couple of lakes up there. Becker Lake is all but lost. Acre Lake has dried up. Several creeks up there have dried up, and hopefully we can get this moisture and get these things turned around up there. Other than that, the normal algae bloom, which normally happens this time of the year on Big Lake, Sunrise, Horseshoe, Cienega, most of the lakes up there are getting an algae bloom. If you go up to the higher lakes, say Lee Valley Reservoir, Reservation Lake, lakes that are up over 9,000 feet, those lakes typically don't get much of an algae bloom, and that's holding true for this year. And so if I'm headed to the White Mountains, I'm going to try to seek out those higher elevation lakes, like Reservation Lake, Lee Valley Reservoir, maybe Earl Park. Holly Lake does pretty good during this time of the year. The creeks are going to be hit and miss depending upon, where the rain is landing and how much mud is being pushed into those creeks.
Yeah.
They certainly can produce really good fishing conditions if they don't get too much runoff into them. When they just swell up just a little bit and get a little off color, it's a primo time to be on the creek. So that's what I've been hearing about the White Mountains. I was up there this Wednesday speaking to the White Mountain Fly Fishing Club. Had a great group of fly anglers out there for that presentation. It was probably 30, 40 people. They were super excited to be there. And then I went on Thursday, spent the morning with John Romer on Rainbow Lake. We were chasing the grass carp in there, and I did get one of them. It's a fun place to catch grass carp on the still water. So, that's I'll tell you what. You look at some of these lakes up there, and they put the grass carp in Rainbow Lake. Maybe a lake like Becker Lake, or I know they put them in Crescent. I don't think they survived the winter there, but maybe they survive in Becker Lake, and they can really add, new fish to chase. We were out there, and there was a handful of fly anglers chasing the grass carp on Rainbow Lake. It was really fun to see. It's a whole new species. They hold up way better than trout, and they fight. They get a lot bigger than a trout does, and they fight real hard. So it makes it for a lot of fun to go out and chase them.
Okay, I need to get you and Mr. Guggenauer in here. We need to update our dictionary. Rumor has it he's been up with flashers and hoochies. So I'm just saying, we the Dims are getting rid of their woke dictionary, but we need to do ours. So.
Have a new vocabulary for fishing, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we need to keep the folks educated. So. Yeah. All right, we're going to kick you loose. Wish you the best the rest of the weekend, and be safe out there. Let me know how you do.
Don, I appreciate all you do. I'll talk to you next week, amigo.
Likewise, my friend. Chris Rich, AZ Fly Shop, Cactus, just west of the Area 51 Highway. So we're going to flip into a break, come back, and we're going to pick on somebody. What do you think?
Uh-oh.
You're in, buddy. You're in.
I'm ready.
Yeah, we're going to call it. I'm going to put your phone number out to the girls in Apache Junction. Yeah.
It's Dono Basin now.
No. This is Fox Sports 910. I'm getting in trouble. Get us out of here.
The first stop on anything.
Matt, are you doing any of the midweek bass?
I have not fished midweek bass. I've always talked about doing it and never have fished
Yeah,
one.
I did years ago.
Good group of guys.
They just had a event at Canyon. Now this is three fish. First place was 1779.
Whoa.
Yeah. Second place was 1763. And then it dropped down to 1345, 1317, 12. I mean, those are good weights for three fish.
You bet.
I don't care who you are unless you're Mr. Jenkins over here.
Yeah, not everybody catches 16-pounders.
Okay.
But hey, Saguaro Lake, there was a 3-fish tournament, 21 pounds, I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're fishing those, but
We actually fished three fish a couple of years ago. We won with 18 pounds with 3 fish.
Holy.
We had 3 6-pounders.
this is
That wouldn't win today.
No.
Yeah. Well, the bummer part is we drove down to San Carlos because San Carlos was on fire, and it was kind of everybody's.
Yeah, but we were trying to keep that quiet.
We were trying to keep it quiet, but now you can't launch a boat there anymore. The lake's so low, and the bank's just mud, and there's no. We looked all around Mojave Point, the old spots where we used to launch in the old tournaments back.
Did you get your truck broken into?
No, I didn't actually.
Really?
Yeah, no. Okay. But we caught 4 and 5 pounders all day, and I thought about breaking out the old float tube again and kicking out there because we went to Black Canyon Lake last week. It's a little hidden gem, I call it. I mean, when the lake was up, I could launch my bass boat. Little White Mountain Lake, 80-degree weather, and we're catching fish. We caught 50 fish. A lot of small ones, but in that weather, it's 110 in Tonto Basin. Go up north, 2-hour drive, and we just had a blast. And the fish are healthy and look good, so I knew we couldn't get the boat in there, so I went to Bass Pro Shops and bought myself a float tube, and we went out there and caught them pretty good. We're just throwing little Texas rig craws, just a quarter.
Okay, back up. This is Matt Shura in a float tube?
Yes, sir. I got pictures to prove it.
It was pink, Don.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't been in a float tube since I was 15 years old. My dad used to drop me off at Saguaro, dump me in the lake with a float tube, and he'd come back at the end of the day. But yeah, Black Canyon Lake, just throwing a little Texas rig jigger craw.
Did you get flippers?
Yeah, I had the flippers. I got scars on my feet to show. You don't. This is something a tip. This is a tip for all your listeners out there. When you buy the flippers where you slide them over your shoes, don't wear Crocs.
I would say don't wear Crocs anyway.
Well, if you're man enough, you can wear them.
Unless you live in Tonto Basin.
I like. Here we go. Here we go. No, but my feet were sliced up because the fins were rubbing on my feet. So, and then I went to get out of the lake. This is kind of funny, but I guess I'm going to admit it. It's too late. I'm committed now.
Yeah.
So I went to get out, and that mud you sink down past your knees. I lost $60 worth of flippers in the mud. I couldn't even find them. They're buried in the mud. Oh, wow. I got my Crocs back, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Those are the most comfortable shoes, and there's not a better boat shoe. We stand up front in the boat when those waves are coming over the front and then get your feet wet. Tennis shoes just get soaked, and so I'm not going to convince you to wear Crocs. I can see it in your face.
No, you're not. Real men fish barefoot. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, but I admit it. I wear Crocs.
No, that's a prerequisite for living in a trailer park in Apache Junction. Captain Ruben Blair, wife beater T-shirt.
Yep.
Crocs.
Hey,
yes.
I live in a fifth wheel, and I love it. I couldn't be happier.
You're an exception to the rule.
You know what my rent is? My rent is $260 a month.
Yeah, about $3.40 a gallon.
And my electric bill? Yeah. My highest electric bill was like $70. So it's like I'm hearing about, all you guys with houses in the summer.
$500.
$500 bills. Like, jeez. I'd rather go fishing. And I'm 15 minutes from the boat ramp. Tonto Basin. I just love Tonto Basin. I'm 30 minutes from Jim over there in Payson. And if I get bored, I run up to Payson and have
I've seen you at the
food.
casino.
Yeah.
What? Which one? I didn't know there was one up there.
Yeah.
Huh, weird.
Seen your truck there.
Okay, yeah.
I hit a good one.
That, if you don't like your neighbors, you can move.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta admit, I hit a $22,000 jackpot last week.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, gave some of it back. We went up to Honda Casino. For some reason, my truck always seems to turn. I try to pass them, but it pulls to the right.
Yeah, I know.
I end up there. I'm not sure why.
Fishing is a wonderful sport.
Yeah, it is.
You know what?
See, we talked about this. All the money that Bass Tournament put into communities. We talked about the BASS kids going to the high schoolers going to Martinez, and then there was a backup lake, another tournament. But there was like $1.4 million dumped into that community. But that didn't include the disposable income that got donated to the casinos, which was vast.
They ought to find a way to figure that into your economic impact whenever they have bass fishing tournaments. If you bring the casino money in, you'll probably double it.
You guys are master at matrix. Give us the matrix for that.
There you go.
Somebody told me those casinos aren't built on winners. That's what I heard.
They're not.
I don't know. I don't know why. I enjoy it though.
Yeah. So, have you done any good at Blue Water?
Yes. Yeah. Well, on the river.
No, I'm talking about the casino. They're
got some big smallmouth.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's just. We're talking about my gambling problem now.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking the Blue Water's got a really great buffet.
Oh yeah. No, I really have fun at Blue Water. They got a great
good
ramp.
prime rib. Oh,
great ramp. Good food at the restaurants, and there's nothing better than going out and catching 4-pound smallmouth all day, and then coming back and having a big old steak. The steakhouse
something besides a hot dog.
Yeah, that steakhouse is really good there too. So it's a great place in Parker. It's a really neat place.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad to see AZ Bass Junkies, kick that thing off over there. I thought that was a great venue.
Yeah.
For
cool.
a championship.
Absolutely. We had a great time. We weighed 18 pounds and got our butts kicked.
Wow.
18 pounds for 5 fish, which is, we thought we were doing okay.
Yeah,
until we got to the weigh-in and found out that everybody caught them. There's just a lot of good, healthy smallmouth lake, smallmouth in that place, that river.
Now you feel like me and Steve. Our money goes to guys like you.
Sometimes, man. It's these kids have gotten so good in fishing. It's just we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have all that, the videos and stuff to watch when I was growing up. So it's just, I bugged the tackle store guys, and they they'd get annoyed with me, but I'd just sit there and learn from them, and then go out in the water.
Well, I'm learning from this generation over here. She's a teacher. I didn't know what chap slap or whatever the hell it was, artificial insemination, AI, I thought that's something Tyson did out there on the ranch. Here, hold still, bossy. I was wrong.
Yeah. But the craziest part to me is these little kids like Shane Edgar, Taj White, all these little kids that were just little kids when I was taking them out for the Junior Bassmasters. They're out there just
they're killing
butts right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, they're so ahead of the game from where I was at 20 years old. It's just incredible how advanced these guys are.
But look what we had, and I'm not complaining. I was grateful for we had Bill Dance on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we had all the magazines, and on and on.
Bob
and on,
Hirsch,
Shaw Grigsby,
Bob Hirsch,
Art Chamberlain.
Yeah.
That was
that's an interesting concept, because if you just think about this show today, listen to how Chris Rich is talking about where to fish, Matt, Steve. 20 years ago, you didn't get this sharing of information. And I don't know if it's because of the new data generation or data so available out there, but really talented people, take Matt for an example, are willing to share all his ideas and secrets and where he goes and fish. It didn't used to be like that when I was growing up. We'd have to buy him like 6 beers before you get anything that was out of there.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. Oh, what? Byron Velving. Oh, yeah.
Byron. Oh, man.
You have a good day on the water. Hey, we're buying you drinks. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll keep you all up all night.
Yeah. But
be too
so
drunk.
it's just
still be drunk at weigh-in.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'll add to that. It's very rewarding to get a message. Just say, hey, I did what you told me to do, and we caught fish, and thank you, for that advice. And that's just really rewarding to me.
That's me right there. I learned from these guys. I was throwing Zebcos, so I started going to their seminars. So
don't give up your Zebcos.
I'm just telling you.
No. All right, we got to flip into a break and polish our Zebcos, and when we come back, we'll get this thing closed out. I'm gonna go rub my Zebcos. We'll be right back.
No matter what boat or watercraft you drive, your safety starts with the proper personal flotation devices for you
he's okay on a short track, because there's a wall on the inside and a wall on the outside, and he'll ping pong.
Yep.
But this one, he gets on those big motor speedways. He just can't run with the big boys.
What'd you say? You took out 17 cars or something?
Yeah. I mean, it's like he bobbles a little bit, and Larson kind of give him a little bumper, just a little bit.
Yeah. That's Rubbin's racing, right?
Rubbin's racing. Then he went over and tried to rub on Jory Logano, and never mind. I mean, he just it was wonderful. So anyway,
one night.
What's your next big event?
Just going to start doing the series again. I'm not going to make it up to Lake Mead for the one bass. I'm just too busy, and we're going to Hawaii next week, and so
they have fish in Hawaii.
They do, and I'm actually thinking about taking the trip and going fishing. But yeah, it's fun. But no, just doing more weekend warriors and let's talk fishing. I got to fish with two different buddies.
Okay.
My old partner came back, so I'm going to fish 2 circuits this year, and it's going to keep me pretty busy.
Outstanding. Well, good luck. Keep in touch. You're welcome here anytime.
Thank you, sir.
Anytime you want to come by, just call and go, hey, I'm on my way.
Yeah, this has been more fun than I actually thought it was going to be. It's a hoot. And the radio only hears half of it. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then what's in your schedule?
Well, you know what? I'm doing great, knock on wood, after my surgery. I had the diverticulitis surgery, and it was major.
Yeah, just stay away from Filiberto's. You'll be fine.
Oh, man. It's been the roughest 2 months of my life, to be honest with you, and I'm feeling better. I'm doing better. I'm actually absorbing nutrients now, which apparently I wasn't before.
Really?
Yeah, I woke up.
You look great. I mean, you look like you've reversed aged.
Yeah. Well, I feel a lot better. I think I mentioned it before, but I fished a MLF tournament at Lake Havasu, and I caught them good, and I didn't drink water like you should.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And I had some Mexican food the night before, so I won't go any further than that. So I think I might have been a little dehydrated, but I was catching them. We had 22, 23 pounds, the biggest bag of the day. I won $1,000 just for that. Cool. I won that day. It's a 3-day tournament. Well, anyway, we're fishing, and it's like, okay, 10 minutes. I always give myself extra time to get back to the weigh-in, because if you're late, you're done. So I pulled the trolling motor up, and just pulling the trolling motor up, I passed out, apparently. I don't remember it, obviously. Wow. I was unconscious. But and my co-angler, luckily he had a boat, and he was strong, so he could drag me off the front deck. I had a seizure, he said.
Really?
He threw a life jacket on me, fired up my boat, and drove me back to weigh-in.
Wow.
And I'm laying
Did he keep you in the boat, or did he tow you in?
He towed me in.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he dragged me to the floor, and I put a life jacket on me, and we got back in time.
God love him.
Yeah, and I got up and looked around, and I'm just like, hey, those are paramedics here. It's like, I used to be a paramedic, and it's like, that's cool. Lake Havasu's paramedics. I'm like, what's up, dudes?
Flashbacks.
Yeah, and I look around, and I'm like,
they're looking at you.
Crap, they're here for me. So when I stood up, I got real dizzy, and I laid down. My magnesium was way low, and they gave me like 4 bags of fluids and magnesium, but I still weighed 22 pounds. Luckily, I had my travel partner. He goes, I got your fish, I got your boat, and I just went in an ambulance to the hospital, and they weighed my fish in for me. And
did you get your paycheck?
Yeah. I made, I think it was over 4,000.
I got your boat, I got your truck, I got your paycheck.
Yeah, I won $4,000 that day. I almost died, but slow rolling spinnerbaits in those habitats at Havasu.
You're in good hands. A good friend of mine I went to high school with, some mortician up there. So
yeah, I was close.
His name's Wally.
I was close.
Wally.
It is.
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad I didn't meet him.
He was good. You remember A.L. Moore and Son, certainly.
Yeah.
He did his apprenticeship at A.L. Moore and Son when we're in high school. You didn't know where he was, but you go,
oh, no.
Wally's coming.
No.
Yeah, he smelled like formaldehyde. Yeah, serious.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we took some dates down there, after 10 o'clock. It didn't work out well.
I'll bet.
No.
I'll bet.
So.
Okay, yeah, so I'm if things keep going the way they're going with my health, which I'm feeling good, I'm planning on going to try to do Lake Mead coming up, and definitely do the U.S. Open. You can't miss the U.S. Open, but like Steve fishes you call it Weekend Warriors, the Southwest Custom Tackle. Yeah. It's kind of more geared towards amateur circuit. It's more amateur circuit, so you're only allowed to fish 2 pro tournaments a year, and you can't be a guide to be eligible to fish those tournaments. And you guys are getting 100 boats. you know.
Yeah, it depends on
Yeah.
Roosevelt always pulls a bunch of boats.
Oh,
up,
sure.
up to 120 or more.
Yeah, so with that being said, I can fish in my backyard at Roosevelt Lake, and if I get lucky and win, you know, first place is with $3,000-4,000.
Yeah.
Nitro pays us $8,000 for the win as long as we
Wow.
get 60 boats. So I'm
And
kind of.
then you can run an RV space in Apache Junction.
Jeez.
I love it.
We've come full circle.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, getting a hard time, and I'm used to it though. You know what? I was a fireman, and you got to have thick skin.
Yeah, but what color? Do you have matching Crocs?
I have different pairs. I wear the lighter color tan ones in the sun when it's hot.
Yeah, but
and
do you have
sunny.
orange ones?
No, I haven't gone that far yet.
Okay. Well, you look at Instagram; they have Crocs, you know, and they have spurs for your Crocs and all these kind of things. So.
Yeah, I got my girlfriend Heather got me headlights that clip on your front of your Crocs. I'm like, thanks a lot. And I was like, well, actually, it'd be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, walking
You
back
use them on the boat.
Walking back to the truck at night.
Oh, yeah, rattlesnakes.
I was walking back from Troya, and you know that hill.
Oh, yeah.
And I stepped on, I just got the glow on my phone. I'm walking up the hill. It was a guide trip when I was guiding. And I just got the glow on my phone. I step on something, and I look down. It's a rattlesnake.
Nice.
I stepped on it.
Wow.
Luckily, it was run over and dead. but hey, you want to see a fat?
You don't have to tell that was part of the story.
Do you want to see how high a fat guy can jump?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well,
I impressed
RC and I have a new
myself.
deal.
I impressed myself.
RC tells a story about him jumping on a Sidewinder. In me, I'm carrying a 45 with snake shot in it, a 22 with snake shot, and shotgun in the truck. No, I got these snake boots. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start jumping on snakes.
There we go.
But now we can't find one.
There you go.
Never fails.
It'll come. Trust me.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get this thing wrapped up. You got a commission meeting coming up. Where? When?
We do 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Friday, and it's going to be up in Eager this time. So,
Is there alcohol involved?
could be sometimes after the meeting, but should be fun. But hey, Don, I want to give a shout out to last night, the Arizona Outdoor Hall of Fame banquet. Was a great time. Congratulations, everybody got inducted.
Outstanding.
It was a great time, and great job to you, Jim. And
Oh, well,
Arizona
thank you
Game of
guys for
Fish.
coming down. We're going to get this thing wrapped up, get out of here. No NASCAR today, so I guess we'll go wash the truck. Okay. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be back next week. Take your kids fishing, hug your back post. Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you, sir.
Great
Appreciate it.
fish.
We'll be back.
Thank you.
Don McDowell out.